All right, well, let's go. All right, thanks everyone for joining us for another storage meetup. We do this every Friday. First half hour, we sit around, we BS, we have fun. Next hour, it's more serious. We're talking more about storage, so that's the way this goes.
Hey
Again,
Jim, look,
what?
I got Corey Ross
Oh, there
sitting.
you are.
Corey sitting next to me.
I see
Just
Corey
had Joel
twice.
Patterson walk by. So yeah, so we're
Cool,
side by side on the screen on mine.
sweet. Yeah, drag them as they're walking by. Yeah, Jim's at the Florida Self Storage Association
So's Corey.
conference here, so we got storage people walking behind them. But yeah, the format of this is very loose, very free flowing. Here in a few minutes, we'll have Sandbar Solar Electric give us a little show and tell. It's a good opportunity for anyone. If you're on here, cool. If you're a vendor, great. I'll give you the link. I'll throw it. I'll throw it in chat. Find a time. 10 minutes of each the top of each these meetups. It's a good time to have vendors come on, be able to see what's going on in the industry, especially new people that are coming out. It's a great way to kind of put faces to the vendors and then reach out to them. It works out well. Then after that, again, very free flowing conversation. I urge you, if you want to put it in chat, any questions you have, things you want to bring up to the group, put it in chat first, and I can see that and I can bring you up. So that's the perfect way to do it. So anyway, we've got 10 minutes here. I'll let Sandbar Solar Electric to introduce themselves. I'll spotlight you here, and you got 10 minutes, so go ahead. Was it Lane, right? There you go.
All right, let me get this shared. Okay. All right, that should. Okay, you guys can see where it says solar power. You can see the slide, right?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, good. All right, so my name is Lane Rooney, and I am a commercial project developer at Sandbar Solar and Electric. Commercial project developer basically means like my role is from the very beginning when we have, someone who's interested in solar power or energy storage for their facility. It's my job to kind of manage that on through the point that they would start a solar project with us. So design, analysis, consulting, kind of all of that above, preparing financials, that kind of stuff. So today we'll just take a few minutes just for this slide deck. It'll be really quick. So first I'll cover a little bit of information about who we are, and we as Sandbar Solar and Electric, and then we'll talk a little bit about why solar power, why now, why it could make sense for your facility. And then I did this in the last minute before, literally a minute ago before I started, and it says Q and Q. It's supposed to be Q&A. I did that right as I was starting. So anyway, Q&A. That's what that is. Not questions with more questions and no answers, but actually trying to give you answers. So, okay. Here we are, a little bit about Sandbar Solar and Electric. So we were founded in 2004 as an electrical contractor, and then by 2006, we became a solar contractor. So that means for about 20 years now, we've been a solar power contractor, which actually might not sound crazy long, but that puts us in rare company now in the solar power industry. Vast majority of companies in this industry have either started much later or they were around when we started and then they're gone. So that's just a testament to, one, our ability to run a business and stay in business over the long haul, which is great for our new customers and our existing customers, because we're able to stay around and offer additional advice and help out when their system needs something. Also, as it says there, okay, solar, battery storage, and electrical solutions. That's the whole range of services we provide. Vast majority of it is solar power. And then as it says there, operations and maintenance services. So we take care of systems, monitor them, provide financial feedback, that kind of thing on the systems. Why self-storage and solar? Self-storage, like it says there, just a lot of flat roofs, a lot of wide open sunny roofs. So there's usually more than enough sun to provide all the power that would be beneficial, all the power that the storage facilities would need. And so they're just good candidates, basically because of plenty of sunlight. Self-storage projects we've completed, there's a dozen listed there in the lower left-hand corner, all around the state of California. So we're definitely familiar with the nuances of working with self-storage facilities. And yeah, we have 12 installed. We have another 1 or 2 that are in the works, and be happy to add more to that. All right. Now, a little bit about the economics on solar power projects. Basically, California's electricity, it's expensive, significantly more expensive than the vast majority of the states. So that high cost of power just means it's more money that unfortunately you're wasting on electricity at your facility. And a little bit about kind of how the economics of solar work. So basically, assuming you have a facility now that doesn't have a solar power system on it, the sun is just drenching, so to speak, energy onto the facility every single day. It's like an invisible electric rain that's just falling out of the sky, more than enough power that you need to power the facility. But all of that energy is just being wasted. And then meanwhile, you're paying electric bills to whatever electric utility you have, and that bill goes on and on and on forever, and it goes up and up and up. So that money is being wasted too. And so what we do to resolve all that wasted money on electric bills, wasted energy falling from the sky, and that energy, of course, is free. People say nothing's free, but air is free, water, rain is free, solar power is literally free. It's free energy. So what we do is we install a solar system on the roof of that building, and there's zero cost to doing that. You're literally switching over from money that's being wasted, and then that wasted money now goes to pay for the solar system. There are also large tax incentives. Typically 40 or 50% of the cost of the system is paid back in tax incentives. And then the system pays for itself many times over in electric cost savings. So yeah, just over a several year period, money that's being wasted just goes in to pay for the solar system, and then it's pure profit over that. That's how most projects are done, and some people, for whatever reason, will choose to prepay that all up front as well. Both are options to pay up front or pay over time. Let's see. And yeah, as far as the process with us, there's no cost, no obligation involved in doing an analysis, and we'll size a system, do a layout, design it. We'll model the financials of it, show you all the project economics, and see how it could profit you. And to do that, you can just reach out. My contact info is there. It's just my first initial last name, lrooney@sandbarsc.com, or feel free to just call me there directly as well. So with that, I think we have a few minutes. If any of you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
Yeah. Are you focused on a geographic area doing this?
Oh, good question. So yeah, we are in Santa Cruz. We can do projects anywhere all over the state. So yeah, we don't go outside of California, but as long as it's in California, we can do it.
Oh, you got Southern California, so that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mary Jo had a question about, I'm sure it varies, but about how long to pay for cost.
Oh, like how long it would take for the solar system to pay for itself, basically? Yeah, how long to pay back?
I would assume so, yep.
Yeah. It varies from project to project, so it's hard to give one exact number. But I would say a really common way that we do this is we'll put it on a loan of 6 years, and the system at the end of the 6 years is typically they're typically cash flow positive all the way through the 6 years. So as soon as you get that system on, you start getting tax benefits. You're way financially positive. You stay cash flow positive, as far as meaning having more money than you would have otherwise, all through the end of the 6 years. And then when 6 years hits, then it's just plenty of profit that you're accumulating after that. If you do that as a cash purchase, then typically shorter than the 6 year, a little bit shorter than the 6 year period.
We got 2 more minutes and we can do one more question here. But yeah, if you have questions go ahead and put it still in chat, and you can answer them yourself too in chat, or book
sure.
time to talk more one-on-one.
Chat.
Drake, I saw your hand up.
So my question would be, are there like hidden costs? Like, for example, higher insurance rates or, liability for penetrations in the roof. Like, I know like that's my biggest concern is moisture getting through my roof. It's a big metal box. Everybody's got, big metal boxes. So it sounds like a good idea, but in the long run, it concerns me with the higher insurance rates and the penetrations. Those are my biggest hesitations with getting solar.
Sure. Good questions. As far as insurance, depending on your insurance provider, insurance rates can go up a little bit or not. I mean, we've seen them go both ways. When it does go up a little bit, it's a small fraction of the profit that you would earn from the solar power system. So, if you're earning several $100,000 in profit and your insurance costs during that period of time, go up by, hundreds or even a few thousand, it's a small cost out of the overall profit. So it doesn't in any stretch like ruin the project economics. And then as far as like leakage, so the systems are all installed so that they don't leak. They're waterproofed very redundantly, and we warranty the installation so that it doesn't leak. And so if hypothetically a system ever caused a roof to leak, then it would be on us to repair that leak and resolve any damage from it. But yeah, they're definitely installed in ways that don't leak.
Cool. Well, great. Well, thank you for doing that and taking the time on this. Again, anyone that has more questions for him, go ahead and put it in chat. Put your contact information there as well, so they can continue the conversation with you. But cool. Thanks.
Should I just respond in chat to the few messages that are still there?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Be mindful of time. That'd be the best way to do it.
Okay.
So, all right.
Thank you so much.
Cool. You can unshare your screen there if you don't mind. Thank you very much. Cool. All right. Again, vendors are interested in doing something very similar. I put it in chat as well. You can book a time. I think I booked out till March, but it's on there for you.
I think we're in April, Jim.
Is it April now? All right.
I think we're in April because I think Go Local just told me they grabbed an April slot. So I don't know where we're at. So
there you go. I only show 2 months out, so that's all it's enough.
You are, because I looked for a date for us to do one, and I think you're like almost like the end of April.
Oh, you snooze, you lose. Come on, it took so long. All right.
Right?
I want to take a moment here at the top of the storage meetup. I don't know if anyone's heard the news, what's going on, but storage, we're tight. It's a tight family, so I wanted to bring this up. Deie Burns passed away yesterday. Sucks. So, want to take a few minutes here. Anyone that's on here, I don't know, just I'm sure Jen, you got some stories about Deie, but just to say something about Deie, a story, anything.
Deie was a vibrant light and energy beyond belief. Her faith that she carried with her every day. She could walk into any room and it would light up. It would light up beyond belief, personality wise. And she was so helpful to anybody who ever met her. We're all, I saw Jess Lamb earlier today, and it's hitting there. I got the message last night, and it just circulated down here in Florida, and the whole night just kind of sombered out on us. And you can't say enough words about Deie. She was, that right there, Jim, the picture you have with the sunshine and behind her, that's her, right, Cor?
Yeah, that's made that a couple days ago. Was hoping to be able to show it to her yesterday, and then didn't make it in time. Love butterflies, love sunflowers, so kind of mixed them together. And my little story was, it's been a couple years ago now, but she reached out to me. She's like, I know you like doing the AI stuff. What do I do? They're like, come on. So we did a Zoom session and I gave her a little AI tutorial. And it was just doing parlor tricks basically of what you could do at that time was with photos.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to, can you put like a butterfly on my face? Like going to the fair and doing like painting on your face? She's like, yeah. So we did that. She's like, that was amazing. So don't know what she ever did with it, but
Yeah.
gave her a little AI message. But she was just always so nice.
And
It's just a nice person. Always had a smile on her face. Just was always so optimistic. So
she was a driving force behind the clubhouse every Tuesday too at 10 a.m. Eastern. So her and Luke and James and driving force behind that, and just yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah, I have some big shoes to fill because I'm going to be stepping into that role. And I'm really going to miss Deanie. She has just been a powerhouse and such an advocate. She's an amazing person. And if she couldn't help you, she would find you the person that would. She was just amazing. And I mean, especially as a woman in our industry, just a powerhouse. And the level of women's empowerment that she really breathed and lived was amazing. So she will truly be missed in the industry.
Oh. Hey,
Anybody else?
Shannon, you should come say hi. We're on Meetup. Come say hi.
Shannon coming on. So you can say a few
My
words.
friends.
Hi, we're just
He gave me the head tilt. Oh, I love you guys so much.
We were just talking about Deanie.
yeah,
Sweet girl. You guys, that's tough.
it is. So,
Yeah.
All right. I'll be on next week.
I'll see you.
Okay.
Safe travels.
see ya. Okay. Just wanted to take a few minutes to bring that up. So
Sorry, I had to step away. I just came back and saw Deanie's picture. Thank you for bringing that up.
no, of course. Are you okay? To say a few words?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would love to honor Deanie, especially in a public space like this. You know, Deanie was a dear friend of mine, and we spent years together. We started at first at Tenant Inc. I met her as one of the sales managers there, and she was just an amazing bright light. She always welcomed me with open arms, and it was just um, such an immediate friendship, and we bonded very quickly. And then, you know, over time, I think we worked there for almost 4 years together. And then after that, when we both ended up, you know, kind of parting from there, she helped me grow and develop my business. She supported me so much. She was the person who called me every day when I started my business to ask me how things were going. She referred so many of my current clients over to me that I would say more than 50% of the people that I have as a client base list is because of Deanie. So I honor her, I carry her, and I'm going to create some buttons for our next conference. So if anybody wants a button a picture of her, to carry around on the conference, I'll be creating those. So if you want to reach out to me, I'll send those out to you.
Are they still? I have the GoFundMe up. Are they still?
Yes, we're still
Yeah.
accepting donations on that, and anything that, like you said, everything goes to the funeral costs, and then afterwards it goes to the Anderson Foundation, helping another mother that falls into this very weird gap where, you know, she had coverage, she had insurance, but she was being denied. So we want to make sure that there's somebody that we can help and save out there that has maybe that same problem or is dealing with that same struggle.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, just in that short time, I can imagine what her medical expenses already are. Now that's being passed down, and of course now funeral expenses. So I'll make sure I'll put this in chat as well. So please, that's $3,000 away from 20 their goal. So
Yeah.
let's hit that. I'll put that in chat here for you as well.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Eva. I know that's hard. So thank you.
Well, she in true Deanie fashion, she did things quickly and in her way.
Yeah, it was just so quick. I
much.
mean, we're diagnosed under a couple months ago.
beginning of January,
Yeah.
and then just it's the type of cancer it is. It does do that, but it's just you don't expect it, you know.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. I'll put that in GoFundMe here in chat as well. So let's hit that goal. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, Jim. Anybody else walking around you can pull in?
Well, I just saw Melissa and Josh Huff walk by and saw, yeah, there's been people just walking by here. Joel Patterson stopped by because I've never been on, but I'm gonna make a point now to be on there next week. So,
Good.
so Bob Jacob and Brett Copper were just having a conversation. They just walked away somewhere. So I'm in the lobby just trying to see people going by. John Collins was here with his wife and daughter at the conference. So there's a lot of people who've been here. So
What's
it's
kind
been
of
fun.
any main themes going on there? Is it all AI talk or what?
Yeah, some AI talk. I just asked Corey how her session was. She can tell you herself because she said she
Oh,
got raving reviews. So how was it?
I want to hear.
Yeah, my session was actually really well attended, and I got a lot of positive feedback. It was about how switching your software doesn't have to be painful. Or I said actually in the session was it doesn't have to hurt. But I basically outlined all the steps that I recommend to get through changing your PMS. And I got a lot of positive feedback from both operators and vendors that were in the room. So I was really, really pleased with that. And it was an amazing experience. It was my first conference. It's my conference debut. It was awesome. So
That's the first time you spoke?
at a conference, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to see it because I was in the next room over. So we were competing forces this time, so we couldn't. But I knew she did well because our room was. We had a good crowd too, but with a lot of chatter back and forth because we went right from our conferences, our shows to the trade show floor. So a lot of people were talking back and forth about this, what the sessions we were in. So
Gotcha. I saw someone ask about the extra space lawsuit. I pulled this up and
that was a big. Dave Cooper had a big conversation on that one, and
let
this
me
is
play,
going
let
to
me play this
be.
video and then we'll talk about it real
Yeah.
quick. It's just 30 seconds long, so let me find it real quick here. Share sound.
Are we side by side on your screen too?
No.
You and I.
The city is suing a self-storage company for.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
The city is suing a self-storage company for allegedly duping customers with bait and switch pricing and also threatening to sell off their belongings if they refuse to pay. The Department of Consumer and Worker Protection says that they filed a landmark lawsuit against Extra Space Storage after reviewing more than 100 complaints. Consumers also reported units had widespread vermin infestations, water damage, and mold. In a statement, Extra Space Storage said in part, the company is actively conducting a comprehensive internal review to accurately assess the claims mentioned in the complaint. The city.
So short and sweet, but it kind of gives you the Cliff Note version of it.
Yeah. No, Dave Cooper had a big. He talked about that a little bit in our session that they are real because one of the Jim, one of the top questions we were asked is if you're just starting a property, would you come in with a really low rate, or what would you do? And I said I would come up with a strong rate and longer concession. That way, when it burns off, you have it. And then Dave went into this that the city is, because we know what's going on in California with the lease and having to have this, the maximum stuff and all that in your lease now. This is going to be a wake up call because, and it's not New York State; it's a city. So other cities are now thinking about following this path. So
And what's the main gripe? I mean, what was the main focus? Is the
jumps.
Basically bait and switch.
The rates. Okay.
Yeah.
And just because when she mentioned, and they sell off your stuff if you don't pay your bill, I'm like, well, no kidding. That's part of what we do. But so it's more about the rates. Okay.
Well, and
Yeah.
the real danger.
I met
the real
somebody-
danger.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Randy.
Go ahead, Randy.
Oh, I was just going to say the real danger is when one of those lawsuits starts, everybody, and especially with our industry, they clone it out. So it starts in New York City, it started in California, and it's coming soon to a state near you. I have a friend who rented a 10 by 20 storage unit in Austin, Texas, and for $270 a month, after 18 months, they had raised his rate to $650.
Holy crap.
And he had to move out. That's crazy, but that's what happens.
Randy, I just met
It is insane.
somebody that actually rented a unit at Extra Space, never put anything in it, just wanted to see. He got 3 rate increases in a year.
Yeah.
Easy. I've been following this for a very, very long time. Jim, you and I have talked about this forever. I'm hearing, and again, maybe somebody else can confirm this. I'm hearing they're telling their management clients they're going to start changing this in the next few months in terms of how they're doing it. I don't see that they have a choice on it, but they have to have 3 or 4 rate increases because if you're looking at it from the starting point of, let's say, the online web rate is just the, teaser rate. And then you think of, okay, well, the other in-store rate is maybe the street rate that they're actually trying to get to in a sense. When I analyze what they were doing, and I'm actually doing that right now because I have some information that I got, if you look at it from a point of view where they were coming low and they were going high, they have to exceed whatever rate they were targeting because they're trying to get them to average that rate the entire length of stay. But it's tricky. And, I just analyzed one of them and the length of stay since 2023 went off a cliff. So and there's a couple things going on here, but yeah, I don't know why after a while they didn't think the New York City Council wasn't going to get after them.
Yeah, and like Randy was saying, it takes one domino. It's that first domino to start going down. They're all going to start being under that focus in different states. And
well, yeah,
it's coming. We've been talking about this for how many years?
It started in Georgia and Texas. Those were 2 states that went after, not exactly blue states that went after rent control and it got shot down. I think Maryland tried. And then we saw what just happened in California, and that really wasn't rent control. That was kind of a compromise they gave them. But yeah, it's going to be, I don't see how they can continue to do it, but with this kind of thing, they're going to change it. They're going to have to.
I think so.
But the other issue is that they bundled in late fees and auctions into the same thing. So then you in effect change our business model. And that's the real danger. So when they start throwing in late fees or lien fees or cutting locks and having auctions, that's a real that's a real threat.
And then we all get regulated because of those guys. Because it's not exactly like we have a lot of political clout in any state that we're a industry that anybody loves. They don't mind thrashing us.
And is that in the lawsuit? I know that they mentioned it briefly in that news story, but I wasn't quite sure. They're targeting selling the goods and liens and those kind of fees as well. Wow.
They're going to look at all of it.
Yeah. Dang.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
I don't want to chime in here on just to piggyback off of just another thing since it's just about meeting up and talking and stuff. I mean, I'm from Michigan. It seems like a lot of folks are from all over the different place, and you're talking about these teaser rates. Is any other you guys owners or managers experiencing these teaser rates with the SpareFoot, the self-storage, the CubeSmart, all these different feeders that everybody is on, at least I know in my state is? Are you guys experiencing the same issues with that whole bidding that you're kind of seeing that? I mean, we're just being flooded with new facilities and it's just trying to compete against everybody. I was wondering if anybody's thoughts about that.
You mean competing against lower rates in general, or?
Well, not just the low. Well, yeah, one would be the lower rates. You talk about this thing that's happening in New York right now. If I'm sure, do you advertise in SpareFoot, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you know that they have the new model that you can bid on, that it's a bidding process. This is what I'm getting at. Versus their old model used to be they would just take a percentage off the rent, but now you can actually make your facility a little bit more on the first page by paying more.
So they've been doing bidding for years.
That's nothing new.
Yeah.
But what Extra Space did is by lowering their street rate to like $20 for a 10 by 10, they could bid 5 months on SpareFoot, knock everybody down notches on SpareFoot, take a customer, pay SpareFoot $100, which is less than their acquisition cost for Google or any other way that they have acquiring a customer, and then go to the customer in 2 months and hit them for a $150 raise and get $200 a month. I've been complaining to SpareFoot for 6 months that they're controlling their platform, and it's tough.
I mean, the key to this in terms of what Extra Space is doing, at least in the research I've done on it, and I've spent a lot of time on it, is that they need to increase the street rates need to go up. I mean, the rate that you're intaking the customer needs to go up because then you're not doing these massive rate increases to get them to average that street rate over, whatever period of time that they're in. I mean, I just did an analysis, I won't say on which REIT, but on a set of 3 years some some pretty comprehensive data. And the average length of stay, we're all told, is, oh, it's 17 months. Well, the people that moved in since 2023 at this particular store, it went off a cliff to like 8. And then there were a significant portion of them moving out right after that first rate increase that was pretty large, or large compared to what any of us would prefer to do in that situation. So I don't know that they're actually doing better in a sense than they would have if they just went back to what we used to do. It's almost like, taking the really long way around to get there, but you're upsetting everyone in the process.
I just don't see them ever changing the strategy until they get their butt sued. Because
well, supposedly they're changing it now. That they're telling management clients that they are going to change it. They're going to go, fully onto that good, better, best thing that they've been doing, which we've all been
doing
playing.
that. Yeah.
But again, the key comes down to not having that web rate or that web rate you have coming in so low. They have to raise that up, and then you can do some other things. Still doesn't mean it won't be algorithmic or aggressive, but you have to have that starting point much higher than, if you open up a brand new store, you've got a $60 10 by 10 climate control. Any of us who do feasibilities or development, anything like that, $60 10 by 10 doesn't cut it in a lease up situation. So they're going to have to raise that up. And I saw somebody talk about good, better, best, talking about the 3 pricing tiers that you would do. So you'd look at something and say, hey, the low tier is $86, the middle tier is $96, the top tier is $106, and there's benefits that come along with that. But in their algorithm, that the way they do it is, what number you come in at will be dependent on what revenue management strategy they put you on.
Matt, was anybody at the ski workshop? Because I was told this week that a conversation was asked about exactly this topic up there. And I know Ken Woolley was supposedly in the audience, and they kind of sidestepped the whole conversation.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
Was anybody at ski workshop that was in that room? Because this has been going, but Matt, we talked about this before Christmas. This was coming. We knew it was.
Yeah, it was sidestepped at SSA when we were in there for the keynote speaker, and when they were, talking, when they were about to bring everybody on, they're like, we're getting the SSA is like, oh, we're dealing with more lawsuits, and and it's like, no, we all know why they're getting more lawsuits, because people don't like it when they have a $150 10 by 10 and it goes up to $300 within 3 months. They get a little hostile about that.
Yeah, Jim, this is Andy Beckman here. I was actually at the workshop, and Noah Merkham at Arkland had a keynote speech there and talked a little bit about, just trying to be a good actor, really, within the industry. And so it wasn't necessarily like completely pointing the finger at Extra Space, but it was certainly, obviously pointing the finger at Extra Space, if you want to put it that way. So, yeah, I think my question is, let's say they bring customers in at higher street rates. Are they still going to give sort of 3 increases throughout the year, or are they just going to give two increases at the same percentage increase, for example? So you bring somebody at 60, they need to be at 100 in order for your average rate to make sense. Will they give 2 $20 increases, or will they give 3 $15 increases, for example? So that's, I think, a question that we don't really know, but it's something that we, is probably still part of the overall kind of strategy of how they're going to proceed. But they've got to change the behavior a little bit. Yeah. Otherwise, we're all going to, feel the brunt, as we're all saying here. So
yeah,
I think the amount of income, sorry, but the amount of increases, I don't know that will change, or the algorithm will move that around. But it's that they're still going to do them, and they're still going to be aggressive, because you still have to pull yield out of it. It's just that I think that if you start at a higher rate, you're just going to have less of this running to the New York City Council that, hey, we have we got a 300% increase or something on my unit. reading it, it was funny because I read the article. It was I think it was in Curbed, which I think is part of the New Yorker or New York Times, whichever it was, and it said something to the effect that Extra Space had 117 complaints over 3 years, which was way far ahead of any other business or business type that they had even in the system.
Right.
So they've got to stop this massive increase.
Well, I think, Matt, if they start with a higher rate, they're probably, like you said, they're probably still going to do rate increases, but the severity of them is going to drop dramatically. And you would think if they don't have to get from point A to point B, doesn't have to be that drastic. They could probably maybe scale back to 2 rate increases or whatever. I mean, I know I worked with a client in New England, and they started advertising that they'll guarantee your rate for the first year just to get people to come in and shop. So when they say, yeah, your rate's, $20 higher than Extra Space, yeah, but we're going to tell you right now, they're going to hit you and we're not going to touch you for a year. And the first I thought about it, I'm like, nah, I would never do that. But now it's like, again, if you're in a market that's heavily read it and heavily Extra Spaces, that could be a huge selling point. Even with me, when I had my stores, we told our managers, when people, comparing us to Extra Space, I'm like, do yourself a favor, ask how many times you're going to get a rate increase. Because, and I don't know, Matt, what do you think about that 1-year rate guarantee? Because I know, hold on. Hi, Jess Johnson. We're on Meetup. You want to say hi? Come around. Look, here's Jess.
Hey, Jess.
Hey, Jess.
No, but I mean, it's one of those things. Is that worthwhile to, advertise it? We're not doing this and get a better customer. I don't know.
I'm testing it, Jim, at a couple of stores on the good, better, and the good, better, and best. Yeah, I don't run a rate increase until after 6 months, so I decided to stick it on my standard unit. That, hey, guaranteed rate for 6 months. I'm not doing it anyway. And then on the premium unit, I'm giving them 24-hour access, and I'm giving them a year rate lock. I'm just trying it at a couple stores and see what happens.
Kurt Kleindesk at Safeguard is doing that too. If you go with the top level thing, they lock your rate for a year.
Yeah. But it's been a race to the bottom because Public Storage is doing it and SROA is doing it. It's not only Extra Space. What they've done is taught a whole lot of people to give a low initial rate and then come back with crazy rate increases.
Yeah.
Well, I had an SROA open up a brand new store in a market that I'm working in with a client, and they were $27. Climate control, multi-story Class A property. They were renting them for $27 on the second floor. I mean, there's no way that number, I know that number doesn't work. So that's, you're going to have to do some major rent increases on the back end to get them going.
And again, I'm always just putting myself in the position of the little guy trying to compete against these guys. We kind of hit on it a little bit about making, trying to advertise it on your website, but first, you got to get the phone call first, because we all know whoever gets the phone call or website visit first generally wins. So we're already kind of behind the 8 ball when it comes to that. So I'm just saying, yeah, if you get them to your website, be loud and proud about it of no rate increases and that kind of things, because otherwise, we all know this because we're in the industry, but your average Joe, they have no clue that they're going to be getting jacked up if they go to these other the REITs, basically.
And I think that comes down to some of the point when I was talking about rate locking and things like that. I will literally say I did have my first customer that I could remember in a long time did ask not too long ago, hey, are you going to raise my rate? I haven't had that conversation with somebody like this in a long, long time. But it's one of those things where if you're advertising it, do people, and they may be understanding it now, but previously, did they even understand that was a benefit because they didn't really know that you could do it anyways? And are you handcuffing yourself when you do need to raise rates and you're up against it? It's a weird situation you got to navigate.
Hey, I just want to hop into this. We've kind of been tracking this. We're a management company out of Ohio, but what if they do regulate the raising of the rates? Do you see the REITs then putting a promotion and kind of going under the radar of a 3-month whatever, 50% off, lowering their standard rate. And then after 3 months, they're getting that increase.
But that's above board, so that's fine. If you want to
Yeah,
run half off for 6 months and the customer comes in and they're buying that and they know they're paying $50 and on month 7 it's going to 100, that's above board. That's honest. It's the and I get they all hide behind it's a month-to-month contract, but to me it's not an honest business practice.
yeah,
Can I add
it's
something?
gonna hurt all of us.
Mhm.
You know, I'm in Reno and we have a really nice place and we've never raised the rates. We opened 3 years ago and I think we may have raised the rates $10 in our first year, but we're the same price as we were when we opened basically. And I'm wondering now if I should put that on our website that we don't raise rates, or if, like you were saying, that blocks us in. I don't know. I'm just realizing that that's a selling point, and I didn't even know that.
So Heather, you haven't changed your street rate in 3 years?
Yeah.
That's
Sounds like you need to raise rates.
yeah,
if you were in high school,
not doing rate
I'd give you
increases
an
is one thing, but that's just losing money. Not, I mean, if you're 10 by 10 and you went 3 years without a rate increase, raising your street rates,
Yeah.
nah, that's not something I know I would never recommend.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that. Hey guys,
Oh,
I'm new to the group and this is so fun, a lot of information. But with regards to increasing the rates, I've heard a lot of those things. It's been happening to Extra Space, but I know for California, the SB 709,
Right.
the new lease states that there's a maximum rate increase that the storage companies can increase their for the customer within the first year. So if we're talking about, like especially in California, if a company's still doing that, they're really going to get in trouble. And then usually when that happens, the first rate increase, if ever we do one, is not going to take effect after 1 year. The notice is going to be sent out, but by the time it gets applied, it's going to be over a year. So I don't know if anyone has knowledge about that, but the SB 709, we call it the super lease, yeah. So we literally changed the format, the layout of our lease to highlight that on the first part. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I followed that story and all the way through the legislature pretty closely when they were doing it, and it started out a lot worse than what it ended up. But yeah, I mean, you think about this other part where they're doing this and they're going to cause all of us problems, and then there's compliance costs that come with this. It's every state or every major city starts adjusting how we can do rates and rate increases or how we can charge. Well, now it's like, even more serious than auction laws in a way, where we have to understand every area and what we can and can't do. And then you have to model every financial model to what you can and can't do. And, we don't want that. We want the freedom that we have, but they're just abusing it. And this is why we can't have nice things.
It's always the fault of someone, then we all get affected.
Yeah. I just want to circle back real quick. I didn't catch the name. I'm sorry. Who was talking about you haven't raised rates?
Heather.
Heather.
Okay. So I got 10 different things going on, so I didn't see the name pop up. Just real quick, I want you to go before we talk a little bit about that. Because you saw everyone's reaction, like, oh, you got to raise. You got two things going on. First, to raise your rates. It's been 3 years. Inflation, just good business practices. There's nothing wrong with raising your rates. I know you're kind of drawing a line in the sand of you want to be pride and have the ethics of not raising rates. First off, look at your street rates, what you're charging. Look at your competitors. Do this today. See what your competitors are charging. Be, in that range. If it's been 3 years, I bet you're you're cut yourself short. So you can raise those rates and feel very good about it. And that's good business practices. And then raising your current customers, just dip a toe in the sand. You don't have to be like what we're talking about here. We're all complaining about extra space and being so aggressive. Just set it at a once a year thing of going up. Your storage softwares will all allow you to do this. You can set it and forget it, so you're not stressing about it. Very easy to do, but first thing to do today before you take a lunch break. check your competition and make sure your prices are in line.
You guys, I'm so sorry. I don't know if you were talking to me. I had to answer the phone, but because you guys told me to answer the phone all the time. But
Yes.
but I will definitely listen to this. I really appreciate your information.
No, perfect. And good job, bonus, for answering the phone. You got your gold star for the day. All right, we got, just keep an eye on the time too. We got 15 minutes left, guys. So please, anything, want to make sure you want to hit anything, you got questions, comments, jump on in. Now's the time.
Okay, I've got one from my session. It was really interesting and enlightening to talk to both operators and vendors. And I'm just going to encourage everybody. I think the key takeaway that most people got out of my session was, if you were thinking about switching software.
First off, what was your session?
My session was how to switch software without the hurt.
Okay.
How to make that transition on your PMS less painful, right? Because there can be a lot of pain if it's not done correctly, and you can't rely on your onboarding specialist on the PMS side to help you all the way. So take responsibility, do the things. I have a whole 10-step presentation about it. But the key takeaway that most people didn't really get until they really understood was, please talk to all of your vendors, your current vendors, before you make a switch, because they are going to tell you about their support experience, but they also need to let you know what's going to happen if you switch. I've had conversations with untold people now about, oh yeah, I changed my software and I didn't talk to this vendor and now they can't help me anymore. So if anybody took anything away from it, that was the key thing. Talk to your vendors, make sure you are aware of the implications of the change that you're making, because your PMS affects every part of your business.
So doing your due diligence to make sure everyone's still talking nicely with each other if you make the switch.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I was amazed at how many people I actually had a client of mine make the switch and not let me know. I'm like, oh, so all that SEO work that I just did for you, it's gone.
Well, especially, I mean, talk about that for a second, especially when it comes to websites.
That's hugely impactful, right? Because, everybody's like, oh, my domain doesn't change. Well, your URL structure changes. And if your new company is not doing the redirects, which none of them are doing, it's going to negatively impact your SEO. Like, I can't tell you how many conversations about redirects I've had, but I mean, I know that's all very technical, and I know a lot of people on this call probably don't understand, but there's the structure of your website and all of the work that you've done into that needs to be handled with care. And I've seen, unfortunately, that's not happening in our industry right now. It will negatively impact your business.
And that's why I always tell people when they're doing this kind of transitions and they're with the websites, I'm like, take with a grain of salt whatever the vendor is saying about the website. Okay, oh, that's going to be fine. You need to talk to the third-party people that are outside that don't have a dog in the fight, that have been through this, that have seen all the transitions and all the different websites, all the different softwares.
I was gonna say,
they'll shoot you straight. So
just to chime in on that, Corey, exactly. That's why it's so important. It's very technical. It gets very convoluted, and having somebody like yourself or me on the phone call to help transition is, imperative to making sure that shift happens seamlessly and with no hiccups or, having to double up our work, because that's always nice for us. I'd rather have that phone call, take that hour out of my day with the vendors and talk them through what we need to do in order for it to get switched over properly, than have to redo all of the work that I did.
And that's just one piece. There's your whole stack of technology, your whole stack has to change. And every single vendor that you do business with is going to charge you. They're going to charge you to change the API. If you're using ProRise, or you're using Veritech, or you're using your gate people, they all have to change their APIs into whatever software that you're going to, and that's not free. And so when you look at changing PMS or changing your website or whatever you're doing, you have to take into consideration that it's more than just $300 a month for the new software. It's thousands of dollars for all your other vendors to make changes.
Randy, it's not even the other vendors. Think about when you change your software and you got most of your customers paying online. They're used to clicking on a certain link going somewhere, and they go to now they can't pay their bill because the link they have or the QR code they have goes to the wrong spot. And of course, I know that happens where, oh my God, it's wrong QR code, wrong this, wrong that. But not only impact on the vendors, Randy, you're 100%
On the
correct,
customers.
but the impact on your customers is going to be significant.
Which was also
Yep.
what I
And you
talked
lose
about.
credit cards too. Yeah.
Yeah, I know your auto, and that was the other thing that I covered was your data loss, right? There are things that go and there are things that don't go. And you need to really understand what that is. Like your onboarding person can't handle all of those components internally. You have to go through that. So yeah, I actually hit hard on that as well.
Well, I know it's not the same as switching, but I know when we would buy a property, the first thing we would do before we switched over, we would get a credit card roll from the old software, and we would send an email directly to the people who were on autopay saying, hey, listen, guys, we're switching softwares, we're switching whatever, for security reasons, your credit card information doesn't transfer. If you want to sign back up for autopay, please click on this link and walk you through the process and get it done. So by being proactive and having the list of people who were on autopay, that way you can cross-reference that you're having problems. Wait, they were on autopay. And then you can say, hey, Corey, did you get the email we sent you about updating your autopay? Well, no. Well, we tried to tell you this was going to happen. So be proactive.
But make sure your managers don't write down customers' credit card numbers on a sheet of paper, please.
That never happens. Come on.
And keep it in a big giant notebook.
Every stinking day. Jim, I told you the one about the lady who had a book, right?
No.
We took over a store. We're talking about autopay switching software. And I said, hey, we got to talk about autopay. She goes, I got a binder. She reached me. She had a 6-inch binder, pictures of credit cards.
Crazy.
I'm like, okay, we're going to shred all that right now. So you got a shredder? She said yes. She had one of them old 5-straight shredders that if you shred, you could tape it back together. Like, no, let's go buy a crosscut shredder. We put them all. I mean, it took us hours to upload everything, but she had a binder, Jim.
That's insane. That's great. Wow, what are you sharing, Corey?
There, that was one of the ones. Align your departments and your vendors.
Yeah.
Your PMS affects everything. Everything. Make sure you know. Another thing was make sure you know about your contracts and when things end and what your notice periods need to be. Very important components. But yeah, it was. Yeah.
100%.
Just keep that in mind if you're thinking about switching.
I'm in the middle of this right now. This hasn't happened in a while. Again, hired gun, third-party management company, and had a site 2 months ago. The owner's like, hey, I'm looking, I might be selling. Started some due diligence. The other guys are looking at it. So provide some reports, 10,000 foot view kind of stuff. I'm like, all right. Didn't hear anything since. Literally the day of, I get a call. My boots on the ground guy's like, there's people here demanding you to get inside and get into the units and wanting all these reports. Like, what? So I give the guy a call and new owner, day of. Like, had no idea. So I just talk about due diligence. Like, we had no idea till day of. I'm like, I will certainly help you with this transition because they're changing the website, changing the software, changing everything that goes along with it. I'm like, we could have laid the groundwork months ahead of time, but now you're giving me today, flip the switch. I'm like, it doesn't work quite like that. So do your due diligence, take your time, have your checklist. Drives me crazy.
I know.
We've got about 5 minutes left here, guys.
You got to take your picture.
Oh, I will. I'll just make sure. Any questions, comments? I just want to make sure I'm not missing somebody here. Make them wait a week. Dun, dun, dun. I think we're okay. So actually, Corey, since you brought it up real quick. Oh, David, saw you raise your hand. We'll catch you. Go ahead.
Hey, question is, I love this this Friday meeting. The problem is that it's giving me more great ideas for my business than I can actually keep up with and update things. But one thing, big takeaway, automation on like phone payment systems. My staff, end of the month, beginning of the month, we're just getting crushed in the office with phone payments. I've thought about adding a fee, but I would like to use an automated system. I just wanted to ask what people's recommendations were, what works for you that ties into your management software.
Well, both the call centers, XPS and OpenTech, have IVR payments. David, the biggest thing, get more people to shift to online payments. And by implementing the phone payment fee, you can get more people to shift into online or that way. That way they can pay whatever. But I can tell you, I've used both XPS and OpenTech in my career, and taking those payments for you are great. But when we had our managers just answering the phone all day, we said, hey, we'll take it this time, but going forward, if you want to pay us in person on the phone, it's $5.95 or $7.99, whatever you're going to charge them. But you make sure you have it in your lease and you identify the fee. But get people to go the other way. So one thing we did, we made sure everybody who wasn't on autopay was getting an invoice with a hyperlink to pay their bill. And we saw a dramatic shift to online payments. People could pay, just click and pay. But if they had to call you, they paid for
it. I have thought about, someone talked me out of this when I initially thought of it, but I've thought about doing like a raffle, like a monthly raffle. Hey, everybody who's on autopay, and if your payment goes through, you'll be entered into a raffle to get a $50 rent credit. But that's just making more work for myself.
Yeah.
If they're already on autopay, why? If they're not on autopay, maybe. But if they're already on autopay,
just curious, how big of a portfolio are we talking about?
2 buildings, 1,400 units.
Okay, so it's one facility.
Yeah.
What's your autopay percentage right now? Participation?
I'd have to refresh myself. Probably 50%.
50%,
which is low.
There's 700 calling in. Yeah.
How
many are paying online?
Online, 10%.
See, that's where I would push to get people online.
Send everybody today, email, text, everybody that's not on autopay, being like, hey, you sign up for autopay, we're going to take $10 off your next month's rent. And you will bump that from 50% to 75% in 24 hours.
$10. Okay.
Or whatever you want to do. But I'm just saying, and that will save you so much headache in the long run. But up to you. I'm just saying, if you're trying for something quick to get that boost up, works every time.
Roger.
And David's going to help your delinquency accounts receivable as well tremendously. Yeah.
I also have it in my lease where they automatically agree to sign up for autopay. So if they keep calling back month to month and, hey, I recommend signing for autopay, they say, oh, no, not yet. If they become late, I put them on autopay. They automatically agree to it. Some say they automatically do it right away when they sign up. But I've kind of found it a wiggle room of saying, hey, yeah, I can do it now. But if you become late, you're automatically on autopay. You've already agreed to it on the terms. I just don't require it right now. So that's another way to do it.
And that's also part of the move-in process too. When's the last time you've gone through that process of renting a unit from yourself? I don't know what you use, what kind of websites and stuff, but see if you're able to have the auto pay button automatically checked. They can check it off if they don't want it, but just having it automatically highlighted where it's automatically enrolling helps out tremendously as well.
Yes, auto pay is essentially mandatory across the board for us without making it mandatory, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Then when you're talking to them and they call again, say, all right, thank you for giving me your card number. We'll bill you on the first we'll charge your card on the first every single month. And then you've already given the warning. They've already signed the lease, like you're saying, that they agree to the auto pay. So you're just simplifying it. And if they say, oh, no, I don't want that, okay, you need to go online and submit it manually for your side.
Yeah, not to take, this is the last thing I'll say. I don't want to take any more time from anybody else. The friction I get pushback from is we're first of the month billing. I really don't like the anniversary date billing. I can't wrap my head around it, so criticize me for that. But a lot of people say, hey, I don't have the money on the first of the month, so it doesn't work for me.
Gotcha.
So what you could do on that, if you don't mind me, you can allow a $50 fee to change just theirs to their desired anniversary date, and they're prorated for that month plus the $50 fee to change it because they're wanting something different than everybody else. That way, they're already on it, and they have to be on autopay, and they have to pay online, et cetera, have those stipulations. I've done it for one guy. He's so thankful. He was on Social Security. I was like, yeah, we can do that. And that's how I got around it. So they understood it, they agreed to it, and now he pays on time. I never have to chase him down for anything. So that's another route you can do.
I don't hate that idea. Thank you.
Well, perfect. All right. Well, that's been an hour, guys. Appreciate everyone taking the time out of your week and out of your day to join us here for another storage meetup. Again, means a lot. Love seeing the faces every week, so that's great. They are
Thank you.
Connections here. Got to do this quick selfie, so if you don't mind, if your cameras are on, or if they're not on, turn them on now. Count of 3. Got to do our selfie. Cameras are on. Cool. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, one more, because we got enough people. Dun, dun, dun. 1, 2, 3. Cool. All right.
All right.
Thank you so
Happy
much,
Friday, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Everybody. Good to
Goodbye.
see you all.
See you next week.
Have fun in Florida.